What's up? Billy's not here yet, so he asked me to take care of you for a few minutes while he's still getting ready. I've never done this before. Wow. You guys learned a lot of Korean. If you have any Korean questions, I can do my best to try to answer them. My name's Charlie. It's a secret, but I'm Billy's editor. I'm practically running the whole channel. And he never really talks about me, does he? Okay, Billy. Billy's coming. I'll see you guys again. Bye. Hey everyone, sorry. I just had to use the bathroom. It couldn't wait and I didn't have anyone else to start the stream. So thanks, Charlie. That was great. I'm sorry about that. Anyway, we're going to be talking about 3 ways that you can use to say would have. The first one though is a form you probably have already learned and another form you've already learned combined together. And that is you take a past tense verb stem. All you do is you conjugate any verb you want into the past tense like normally. And it's always going to leave you with these. All you do is you cut off everything that's after that double letter. And now you have the stem of a past tense verb. Then what you do is you're going to attach to the past tense verb stem the future tense ending. This syllable, since it comes after a consonant, and then koshida, which you're going to conjugate however you'd like. This will become something like koeu or koya. So you should be familiar with this, the regular future tense form koshida. So basically what you have is the past tense combined with the future tense. So what does that look like? If we take the verb hada, we get 했을 거예요. Literally we have 했어요. So I did, but future tense, I will. Literally this is saying will have been or will have done. For regular conversation, you would just say would have, but literally will have. So this form is a literal, straightforward way to say would have. If you use this form, it will always be understood as you saying something or someone would have been or would have done, because it literally means that. It can be used in any speech level. So you can use it in polite speech, like koshida could become koeo or 겁니다 if you want to be formal, or casual, koya, or anything like that. So let's do a few example sentences. 그건, which is 그것은. 그건 아빠가, so dad, 이미 is already, 하다, to do. So 했어요 normally, 했을 거예요, will have already done. Dad would have already done that. So that thing, what we're talking about, that, dad would have already done that. 그건 아빠가 이미 했을 거예요. So that, oh, dad, he would have already done that. 그건 아빠가 이미 했을 거예요. 철수가, so our friend 철수. 철수가 했으면. So here it's past tense, if. So if 철수 did it, if 철수 had done it, 더, more, 더 잘 하다, to do something better. 더 잘했을 거예요. So if 철수 had done it, he would have done it better. 철수가 했으면 더 잘했을 거예요. If 철수 had done it, he would have done a better job. He would have done it better. 진작 알았으면 같이 갔을 거예요. 진작, beforehand. 알다 is to know. 알았으면, if I knew it beforehand. 같이, together. 가다, to go together. 갔을 거예요. So, would have gone. 같이 갔을 거예요. I would have gone together if I'd known beforehand. 진작 알았으면 같이 갔을 거예요. If I knew about it beforehand, I would have gone together. 1시간 전에. So 1시간, 1 hour. 전에, before, earlier. So an hour earlier, an hour before. 출발하다, to depart, to leave. So 출발했어도, even if I departed or left an hour earlier. 늦다, to be late. 늦었을 거예요. I would have been late even if I left an hour earlier. So even if I left an hour earlier, I would have been late. 1시간 전에 출발했어도 늦었을 거예요. The next form is actually, it's the same thing we just did, but using a different form. Instead of the koshida, future tense, This one uses the keta future tense. This one should be the same thing, right? Will have been or will have done, meaning would have been or would have done. But there's a small nuance difference. Normally, when you use keta, when it's not used in formal speech, the most common way you're going to see keta used, it's not future tense, but it's going to be to say something like must be, I'm sure of it, it looks. Most of the time when you use keta, it's used for making a guess or assumption about something. Like if you were to say, oh man, that pizza looks amazing. That kimchi looks like it's going to be really good. 맛있겠다. 너무 맛있겠다. 맛있겠네. You're not saying it will be good. It will be delicious, but you are saying it must be. Like, I'm sure of it. I'm making a guess. I'm pretty sure. I'm assuming. So when you use this form with this, what you're saying isn't literally it will be, but you're saying, oh, I'm sure of it. It must be. So you're saying that would have been. Like that must have been. It looks like it was. It seems like it was. If you ask a question, it could be, do you think that it was? Like, hey, do you think it must have been? You're talking about making a guess or an assumption about something. So like, I assume it must have been. This one actually has the nuance more like it definitely is. Again, it's your guess. You're making an assumption, but like, yeah. Like when you see something delicious. Oh, 맛있겠네. Oh man, that's got to be delicious. That looks really good. I'm sure it's going to be really good. So it's kind of like saying definitely would have. Oh yeah, that definitely would have. Kind of like that. So as a result, this has more of a certain nuance. Like you're more sure of it. In contrast, 것이다 is more literal, as we said. It's like something will have been or will have done. And it has more of the nuance of like making a prediction, like it will have done, it will have happened. And the 것이다 version sounds much more neutral. It's kind of like saying probably, but that's pretty much it. So let's do a few example sentences. 시험, a test. 시작되다, to be started. To start, 시작되었겠네요. So the test must have started. I assume the test must have started. 시험이 시작되었겠네요. 더 빨리, more quickly. So quicker, faster. 끝나다, to finish, to end. 끝났겠지? They would have, or it would have, finished faster. 더 빨리 끝났겠지? Yeah, sure that would have finished faster. 프랑스 코스 요리. So French course meal, like a cooking meal. 나니, to think. It's reacting to something. Wow, a French course meal? To think it's a French course meal? Like that sort of meaning. In this case, 나니 because it's the verb 이다, which would be 이라니 after a consonant or 라니 here after a vowel. 맛있었겠어요. That must have been delicious. 프랑스 코스 요리라니 맛있었겠어요. A French course meal? That must have been delicious. This third and final form is more vague to make because it's not an official grammar form, but it's the way people sometimes actually speak. This form, you simply take a regular verb and you conjugate it to the past tense. However, this is most often used with the ending 지 and 잖아. Mostly just 지. Like 하다 would become 했지 or 했잖아. You're not actually saying would have. What you're saying is I did. It was. Past tense. You are literally just saying something already happened. This is a conversational only way to express would have. It's not used in any sort of like very polite or any sort of formal or official usage. And it's not super common, but you might hear it. Literally, you're not saying something would have, but you're saying something did. In fact, it's such an obvious thing that I already did it, is what you're saying. It's a stronger version of, yeah, would have. Because, oh man, I totally did that. If you told me, man, that would have been me. Consider it a done deal. Like that sort of meaning. You're emphasizing like, of course, would have. However, this form needs context. If you just go up to someone and say, 나도 갔지. Like 가다, 갔어요. 나도 갔지. That's just saying, I went to. It doesn't mean I would have gone without any context. You need the full context for this to work. But that's all you need to know. Let me give you some examples. 미리, in advance, earlier. This is different from 진작, which means beforehand. 미리 is just before something happens. So in advance, before then. 말해주다, to tell someone, 말해줬으면. So if you told me in advance, 나도 갔지. 나도 갔을 거야. You could say, 미리 말해줬으면 나도 갔지. If you told me, man, I was there too, is what it means. Like, of course, I would have been there. 미리 말해줬으면 나도 갔지. If, however, you didn't have the context, this does not mean I would have gone too. It means I was there too. 나도 갔지. They'd be like, what? So, you need context. 몰랐어. I didn't know. 냉장고, refrigerator. 냉장고에 넣다, to put something in the refrigerator. 냉장고에 넣어야 한다. I have to put it in the refrigerator. 한다고. So here now it's a quote. 한다고 말하다. To say, you have to put it in the refrigerator. 말해줬으면. So if you had said that you have to put it in the refrigerator, 넣었을 거야. I would have put it in there. 넣었지. I didn't know. If you told me I have to put it in the refrigerator, I would have. 몰랐어. 냉장고에 넣어야 한다고 말해줬으면 넣었지. Like, yeah, it would be there. 그렇게, so, that, in this case, delicious, or that delicious, so delicious. 그렇게 맛있는 줄 알다, to know that it's so delicious, to know that it's so good. 알았으면, so if I knew it was that good, 나도, me too, 먹었지, 먹었을 거야. I would have eaten it too. 나도 먹었지. Of course, I would have eaten it too if I knew it was that good. 그렇게 맛있는 줄 알았으면 나도 먹었지. Of course, I would have had it too. Again, this is a conversational only way to express would have, but you need to have the context. And that is the lesson. Thank you everyone for coming, and I will see you again next time. 그럼 다음에 또 봐. Are you guys still here? I think Billy ended the stream already. You guys should go. 그럼 다음에 또 봐. Something like that, right? I can say it too. Yeah, Korean's pretty easy.